just finished watching the season last night. The two of you are so good in this show. I was clamoring to find out like more mysteries. I had to stop myself from trying to pick Andrew's brain. But I'm curious for the two of you, how familiar were you with the Resident Evil franchise before you signed on to this show?
I was coming into this completely fresh. I actually didn't know about the franchise and how big it was, but I did watch a bunch of people playing the video games so I could familiarize myself. I was very nervous auditioning though. I do remember that. And I was like, oh, whatever happens, happens. But this is huge.
Yeah, I would agree. We kind of just started on the same level, which I think was important because it just meant we went in the same kind of knowledge. And we were both very nervous about it, coming in with fresh characters. And, it means a lot to people. And it's nerve-wracking kind of coming into that because you don't want to intrude or anything, and it's joining this massive franchise. And because we're coming out, I think we got lucky because we came in with fresh characters, and so it means you can mold it into the storyline, which we got really lucky with. But we really enjoyed kind of working together, especially just because we're on the same level.
I definitely want to ask you about the casting process and what that was like. Did the two of you get a chance to read off of each other? Were there kind of sister chemistry tests? Like, how did all of that pan out?
Usually there are, but this casting process was just a bit different. At least for me, I remember I first auditioned for Jade. It didn't work for me. And then they came back the next day and then they said they gave me the audition for Billie. And I sent in a self-tape, and then I heard that I was in the mix January or February of 2020, and then I booked it officially in November, and we started filming in January. So it was spread out throughout a whole year, but it's very exciting, very nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Okay, so I auditioned for Jade, and then I auditioned for Billie, and then we're like, this is wrong. So then I auditioned for Jade again, and then I found out I was in the running, and then I found out I got the part. But it was so much fun, honestly. It was really interesting because we kind of just got to really get to know the characters, I think, and that was really important. And I think that what also was important was that we kind of got this fresh start, which we wouldn't have gotten if we had done a screen test, which was really interesting.
True.
And also when we were put in that kind of last minute moment in the characters in the set, it kind of worked really well. And so I think we got really lucky with that.
That's true. We did work on a lot of development for our characters before we even worked together.
Yeah.
And so then we just kind of got together.
We did the thing.
The relationship between Billie and Jade is obviously complicated, but also very close-knit. I feel like I already know the answer to this question, just seeing the two of you right now interacting in front of me, but did the two of you do anything kind of offset or off camera to really grow the dynamic that we see on the show?
No, not really.
We just stayed in the separate rooms.
We just were separate the whole time. No,
we were together.
Did so much stuff.
Almost
we
every
went
day.
We went to a safari, we went horse riding, we went surfing, we went tobogganing.
We went
a lot of stuff.
Sandboarding,
sand duning.
We hung out a lot, and we got to know each other pretty well. Especially in the beginning, that was really important to us to just spend that kind of time together and develop it. But honestly, I feel like a lot of our relationship development was on and off takes.
Yeah,
because you were so vulnerable in the scene, and then you step off of set and you're still in that vulnerability, and there's so much power of bonding with someone in that moment.
Oh yeah, definitely I would completely agree. And I would just agree some in between scenes we would just get to know each other more, which is so fun. What's your favorite color? Okay, actually now we're crying again.
I think the two of you have a really you're in a unique position because the both of you are playing characters that are also played by different actresses in the future version of themselves. I'm wondering how collaborative that process was for the four of you. Did you have a chance to kind of work with the actresses playing the older sisters, work out any similarities and what you wanted to kind of bring to those characters?
Yeah, so we didn't have a lot of time because of just the fact that our schedules were completely opposite. And so it was really hard to kind of figure out times when we could do that. But the first couple of weeks were really light. So we got lucky with that, and then kind of just started working together just to create those just tiny similarities in just certain mannerisms, and like just the way that we would say things or lines, or the way that you would hold someone. And so we both kind of just did that, Siena with Adeline and I with Ella. But it was just really important for us to have that, because the timelines are so starkly different, and we didn't want to make it so obvious that it was like they're trying, but not enough that it was like they don't even like act the same, you know?
Yeah. We didn't, since we didn't have much time, like the times that we were together, we definitely tried to get as much out of it, and try to spend as much time, you know, getting to know each other.
Yeah.
I don't think it's inaccurate to say that a huge theme of this show is family. And one of the things I really loved about this show specifically is how the Wesker family dynamic, again, is just so complex, has so many different layers, and also becomes more complicated the more that these girls are looking into what their father is actually doing at Umbrella. I spoke with Lance a little bit about it earlier today, but I would love to get your take on just figuring out that dynamic with him, working with him, what he's like as a scene partner, that kind of thing.
Lance is incredible. He's so well respected in the industry and such an incredible actor, but like just watching him work and being around that and being in a scene with him and having that opportunity to just work off of an actor like him was just so inspiring. And yeah, for him to play our dad like that, you know, you dream of working with someone like that. So he taught us a lot on and off set, took care of us, and it really helped working with such talented actors. You got to just play off of each other and find something new in each take.
Yeah. And I think what really helped was the fact that kind of we were just kind of put in South Africa. And so just by chance, like the universe kind of pushed us together as a family, because you're missing your own family. And we were there for 6 months. And so we were just making those connections, because it's like, I'm going to be away for a while, and so I'll make these connections, and you just get to know people more, even just like with the crew. It just kind of happened because you're just surrounded by these people, and you get to know them, and you make these connections, and they just become really important to you.
There are a ton of, I would say, very intense scenes, not just on an emotional level, but a physical level as well. But is there any that stands out particularly in your mind? I'm sure you can't say spoilers, you go into spoiler territory, but anything that was particularly challenging to film this season, whether it was a scene together or apart?
Yeah, for me, that was one scene. It was, this is hard. Yeah. You know which scene I'm talking about.
Yeah,
okay.
There's a scene that we're both in that's definitely spoiler territory, but we won't go into it. But it was definitely physically demanding, but we trained on and off set, and we worked with the stunt team, and they made us feel
a
safe.
different scene. What? So there's a scene for me which is really hard, which is really distressing, and we filmed it for about 3 days. Never mind. But anyways, that scene I found is really hard, because I was crying in it, and I was screaming, and I was like crying and screaming for about 3 days. I lost my voice. It was a lot. It was a lot, but it was so worth it. Watching that back was insane. Yeah.
I feel like a lot is a great way to describe this show in a good way.
Yeah.
But on that note, I'm actually all out of time. But thank you both so much for taking the time to sit and chat with me about this show. It was great to see the two of you getting to play sisters this season. And I am already crossing my fingers that we'll get to see another season of that. So thank you.
Thank you so much.